Hey, Tom Rabbit! I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit!
Hey, Darth Dawkins, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Um, so earlier you were talking about like evolution and stuff and like how it seems like really like impossibly fine-tuned. And like you gave a cool example, which was that like imagine you had like a game of Pong.
I'm sorry. Can you go back about three sentences because I was just distracted by a notification.
No worries. Yeah, no, so you mentioned earlier that you were like um well, you were, like, talking about how, like, evolution seems, like, impossibly fine-tuned, right? Like, it just seems too improbable, right, given what we know about the world.
No, Dr. Eugene Koonin says he's one of the world's greatest experts on evolution and microbiology. And in his book Defending Evolution, he says evolution happening in a one-off universe is vanishingly small.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying you believe, which makes
No,
sense,
no,
I
no,
think.
that's what he believes.
Yeah, but you
Darth
believe
wasn't
that
saying
too,
that
right?
evolution couldn't have happened because of the improbability. He's saying that atheists abandon their probabilistic reasoning when they believe in
Yeah.
evolution.
Yeah, we had an example of the guy earlier tonight when he accept that there are laws of nature due to the improbability that chance could produce all of the apparent regularities. But when it comes to evolution, he abandons his probabilistic reasoning when it comes to evolution because evolution is as close to impossible statistically as you can get.
Oh, yeah, no, then I agree with you. Like, I don't think that, like, atheists should just say, like, try to wave away the problem because it, like, this seems like a genuine, like, fine-tuning problem, right? Like, I don't think we can just accept, like, as a brute fact that we were really lucky or something. I agree. But I think there might be some atheistic solutions to fine-tuning. I mean, the first is, which you'll probably be, like, unsympathetic to, is that there's, like, a bunch of, universes, each with different, like, fundamental physical constants. And that's why the fundamental physical constants in our universe seems really fine-tuned. If you combine that with, like, a weak anthropic principle, right? If you combine that with the,
It
um
doesn't matter because you know why?
yeah.
Dr. Leonard Susskind, a world-renowned expert on physics, was asked
Mhm.
about does the fine-tuning of the universe, show design? And he basically says, well, that's the way we used to think, the same way about the complexity of biology, but Darwin showed us about a better day. And he says, in one day, we'll find out the mechanism that produced the fine-tuning of the universe.
Uh, I think that's kind of a bad response. Like, it seems kind of ad hoc to say, "Well, one day we'll
Right,
be able to explain these
right,
fundamental physical constants."
but Dr. Leonard Susskind is at the level of Stephen Hawking when it comes to physics.
Yeah, but I'm prepared to say that, like,
You,
some physicists are just being
you
dumb.
understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what stats you throw at them because they're going to come up with an ad hoc rescue in order not to acknowledge God.
Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, they're physicists, not philosophers, so they might not have the proper, like, equipment
I don't,
to think about this
look, they're all human beings too, and they all have their confirmation bias because they're sinners.
Yeah,
They only
but,
will believe in God is because they're cooperating with God's revelation.
like, again, I think design is a perfectly acceptable solution to fine-tuning, but I don't think it's the only.
Um,
There could be a multiverse.
here's the problem. Okay, the world appears designed because it is designed.
Mhm.
However, when you try to use just pure reason with them, they will always find some ad hoc. We can only ground that God is as the creator and designer if and only if God takes the initiative to reveal himself through the world in a rationally undeniable way. We can't reason to God probabilistically, even though that may be extremely powerful, because it can always be defeated by atheists coming up with an ad hoc explanation.
Yeah, I think God is a pretty good explanation for fine-tuning. Like, I don't think it's the best explanation, but I think it's a pretty
No,
good
no,
explanation.
no. God is the only explanation for why anything is.
I mean,
And
we're
if you
free to
and
disagree. I don't
yeah,
we don't have
you're a little bit too close to your microphone.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
that's a dude too, by the way.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
Yeah, that's a guy.
okay. So what I wanted to mention earlier though was that like you were comparing like evolution to
Okay.
like imagine you had like a game of Pong that like generates like a sequence of like binary digits, right? And like if you want to get like Call of Duty or something, you're gonna have to like it'll take an impossibly long time to get it. It's just so unlikely that you'll ever
Well,
get it.
we should say next to impossible.
Yeah, yeah, it's almost impossible. Yeah.
So
Um,
so if evolution happening in a one-off universe from a probabilistic standpoint is next to impossible, why do people believe it? Why? Because they want to believe it and because it's dogma throughout the world. That's why.
well, I mean, I'm prepared to accept that it's really, really improbable, but I don't think it's as, and again, I think we still need to respond to fine tuning. I think it's too improbable to just wave away
So
and accept
Sophie,
it's very
Dr.
possible.
Eugene Koonin says it's vanishingly small. Do you know what he means by that?
Um,
Something I looked up vanishingly small. It says it's so small as to be virtually imperceptible. So when
sure.
you say that, if you say something is vanishingly small to occur, you're saying that it's so improbable that it's as close to impossible as you can get without being impossible.
Well, the closest to
Okay.
impossible you can get is like to have an infinitesimal probability, but clearly it's not infinitesimal. It's like it's some non-infinitesimal, like really small probability.
Well,
But I think we
what's
don't
the
really
difference
need
between
to.
vanishingly small and infinitesimal? It's not much of a difference.
Hey,
Um,
Retro.
so
Do you
an
bel
infinitesimal
do you
thing is
believe
like
do you
a
believe in
non-zero,
evolution?
like really, really like infinitely small number, basically.
Yeah, that's the same thing as
But that's not the
saying
same thing as a
Well,
really, really, really small number. But so I guess all I wanted to say was
Sophie, do you believe in God?
no, not really. But I mean,
Okay, what is your rational basis that God doesn't exist?
I don't really have an argument for God not existing, and I don't really want to talk
Okay,
about
okay.
it.
Okay, because you don't want God to exist. That's why.
I mean, I don't know if I'd want it or not. I genuinely don't know.
Oh no, oh
But
no, 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 no. That's you're just gaslighting yourself.
okay, maybe.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
I
because you want to know what? So either everything in the world originates in the mind, the purpose, and the plan of God, or not. In the case that it does, then everything uh, is what it is by God's purpose. When you reject that, then nothing has any context.
yeah.
Your mind can impose a metaphysical context. So the point is this: I'm showing you the ludicrousness of saying that things exist without a context of God as creator. Then there wouldn't be anything identifiable or defensible as to what or why anything is. I mean, literally nothing. Not that you would have difficulty, your world would have zero explanatory power to even say that there are two or more things.
Um,
But you want to believe in a world that has no explanatory power over a world where God has revealed Himself in a rationally undeniable way.
yeah. I mean,
So
that
I
doesn't
can
sound
only
right to me, but I
so
don't
I can
know.
only conclude that you don't want to believe in God because we on the one hand we have a rationally undeniable case that the world reveals God, which I can unpack for you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But you would
yeah.
rather believe in a world that has no explanatory power.
Okay, so maybe later. What I wanted to talk to you about was like evolution and fine tuning, though. And I wanted to mention your example about like this Pong like binary digit sequence generator. And I just feel like that's maybe not the best way to put the issue because I mean, I feel
Of
like it's
course it
more
is. They
analogous to like
randomly generate ones and zeros would be analogous to mutating nucleotides.
not really because at the end so like when you get a certain sequence,
Oh,
right,
no, no, no,
when
no, no,
here,
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
get jumped
yes,
on,
because
Lauren, all right?
you see, in binary numbers, you've got ones and zeros. You have a base two system. With the
right,
nucleotides, you have a base four system. So you would be more likely to produce functional sequences randomly than you would in a base 4 system. Do you want to dispute that?
Oh, well, it's not exactly a base 4 system either. It has to do with the
No,
number of
it's a
permutations.
base 2 system. Ones and zeros is the basic units of information, right?
It has to do with the number of permutations of 4 elements with any
That
net,
that's that
right?
that's that's yeah, but the point is this. What reason would you believe that random generation of information units could overcome the frequency of error?
Yeah,
What
so
reason would
I
you have
think
to
I
believe that?
can again, I don't think it overcomes the frequency of error in, like, the large scale case of, like, the fundamental physical constants of the universe.
Uh,
But
no,
I do
I'm
think
talking by
given that
biology.
yeah, so I think given the fundamental physical constants, it's not that improbable. It's actually quite probable.
No,
And I think I
no,
can
no, no,
explain
no,
why,
no.
if you'd let me.
Absolutely not. Each of the constants have such narrow ranges that if we were to stretch a ruler out across the visible universe, and if we were to change the value by just 1 inch in either direction of the constants of just a single constant, we wouldn't be in a life permitting universe.
No, I completely agree with that. You're definitely
So
right about that. What I'm saying is
are you
holding that
explaining, hold on, are you explaining the narrow values of each constant? Are you explaining it by design, chance, or necessity?
um, I think well, neither of it. There's a multiverse,
No,
and so there's, like, an anthropic
no.
selection effect where
Oh,
we
well, you're going to a multiverse now?
yeah, I think that's probably the best way
Oh, okay.
to
Yeah, probably.
visual content.
I love it. I love it. When you're opting toward make believe, okay, it's an ad hoc rescue because you don't want to acknowledge the obvious that God designed this world.
I don't think that's ad hoc. I think it would be I
What
thought that it
reason
was
do you
deliberately
believe?
that, like, it
What
was just really
reason do you
unlikely
have to
that the
believe that there's a multiverse? What reason do you have to believe that such a state of affairs exists?
because it explains why the universe is fine-tuned.
And that's right. Okay, you just proved my point. Thank you. You would rather believe something that's a figment of your imagination than God who reveals himself in creation. Now, the only way you can get
So,
around
this is not
the
ad
only way, let me finish. The
sorry.
only way that you can get around that is to argue that the world does not uh necessarily and rationally and undeniably reveal God. Can you do that?
I don't wanna talk about God. This is not relevant to
Oh,
the
okay.
conversation.
No, it is relevant because you just told me that a multiverse is a better explanation, right?
That's what I think, but if there
Do
is
you
no
do you
multiverse,
think do you
that's
th-
where
do
it
you
says
think a multiverse has explanatory power?
yes, it does. It explains why we
Excellent.
inhabit a
Good.
universe that
Good. Good.
contains it.
Good. Okay. Well, I got news for you. A not God world has zero explanatory power, and here's why. In the God world, we have God as the concrete universal. God is the singular ultimacy of reality from which all things derive and depend. Now, what's your concrete universal in your not God world that will account for systems and subsystems?
If you're using the terms concrete and universal the way analytic philosophers do, I don't think they're concrete universals. I think they're abstract
No,
universals.
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know if
no, no.
you understand.
I said, what is your concrete universal singular? Is there something that is ultimate that generates any diversity? Okay, so you sound
Now I understand what
educated.
you're saying.
Okay,
You're asking
hold on a
what the
second. Do you?
ultimate
Okay,
is.
hold on a second. When we talk about a model of reality, okay, it doesn't matter if we're talking about systems within systems. Okay, what we're talking about in the world at a rudimentary level is we have particulars and then we have unity. Do you agree?
Maybe if you explained what you meant by unity. That's not
Okay. Is
a
is 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 there a plurality of things that exist in the totality of everything?
I take a really weird view called generalism, which says that there aren't concrete individuals. But I think in ordinary
No,
language, it's fine to say that yes, there's
oh,
like
okay. So there's no real, distinction or diversity of any kind in your view. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think the universe is really simple. I think there are like objective facts and everything, right? I
No,
think
no, you're not responding to what I'm
oh,
saying. Okay.
okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Are there two or more things that are literally discrete from one another?
Literally speaking, I don't think there are. No.
Okay, so then you believe that the world, meaning everything, is simply a concrete one. Well, then you
No, I'm
forfeit
not
your
an
ability.
existence monist. I think the
No,
world
no.
is composed of
Look,
general facts, not
look.
objects.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Let's hear the
Is the world
response.
is the world a concrete one? Is it a concrete many, or is it a comp? Is it both the one and the many? Which is it?
Well, you have to tell me what we're counting. If we're counting object tokens, then I'd say it's a concrete zero. There's zero
No,
concrete object
no.
tokens.
I'm talking ontologically here. I'm not talking about tokens. I'm
Right.
talking
So
about ontological distinctions.
right.
Are
So
there
when we when we
are there two ontological things that are distinct
right. So after Quine,
in
all we mean by
ontologically?
ontology is the objects that we are committed to, right? And I'm saying I'm not
No,
committed to any object,
no,
strictly speaking.
okay, good. Then you forfeit your ability to invoke distinctions because then they're going to be fiction.
No, I think they're objective
Okay.
facts.
Oh, okay. So no. So it's it's
I just think they're
it's
perfectly general.
true. No, it's true that there are two or more distinct things.
No, I don't think that's
Okay,
true.
so there's only one concrete thing, and there's no
No.
real discreteness then.
Again, I don't think there are any concrete
Okay,
facts.
so okay, hold on a second.
I think they're
So
facts about the world, which I'm being told that there
so
are
my
concrete
lap okay, hold on a second. So my laptop is not actually discrete and distinct from my car in the driveway right now.
well, I would say that in the most fundamental, perspicuous, like, representation of the world, right, we don't talk about laptops or cars or whatever.
Okay. So are there is quarks just electrons or quarks? They're not actually there aren't any distinct quarks.
Not in the most fundamental way of describing the world, yes.
Okay. So therefore then when you invoke distinctions, they're not real.
Not necessarily. They can be
No, no,
things that are
no.
not
If they're real, yeah. Wow. For somebody who's educated, you're really convoluted.
yeah, I have weird views, and I'm sorry about that. That's why I
Well,
take the other
you're not a weird person. Okay, I will say that you're not weird, but I'm just trying to say to you that um, I'm going to ask you a very simple question.
Mhm.
What when you invoke any states of affairs, what fundamentally dictates what it is and what it is not?
Well, so if I utter a sentence, right, like, the meaning of the sentence, right, tells me like what it like
No, I'm not
represents.
talking about semantics. I'm talking about ontology.
Well, then
What
I'm a little
is there
confused.
something that singularly and fundamentally dictates what everything is and cannot be?
Are you asking if things have the property of thisness? Like, do they have hexaity?
What was the last word you said?
Hexaity?
I'm not familiar
No,
with that.
it's have you heard of hexaetism?
No, no. All
Okay.
I want to know is I want a straight answer.
Okay.
Okay. Do you believe that there's a singular thing that is concrete as opposed to an abstract one that dictates what everything is and cannot be?
I think in some sense of the term concrete, yeah. So basically, I think the ultimate thing, the
What
mind,
is it?
I
What
think
is
that
it?
mentality is fundamental, right? And I think
Okay,
everything
okay,
else is grounded in like some general fact about like
okay.
mentality.
So you believe there is something ultimate that's a mind?
It's I don't think it makes sense to say that it's a mind, because again, I'm not
Okay,
committed
so
to
what
it.
what is ultimate is not a mind, and the ultimate that's not a mind dictates all instances of what is and cannot be?
So again, it doesn't again, I don't wanna talk about an ultimate object or individual, right? I
I'm
wanna talk
asking,
about an ultimate
listen,
fact.
you know
There's
what?
one perfectly
You're really good at
from
double
which all
talk
the other
here,
facts
okay?
follow,
Yeah,
right?
look, we're not in a jam session in a philosophy class in a university,
Okay.
okay? I want to know is there something that is singular, concrete, and dictates all that is and cannot be? Yes or no?
No, but there is a necessary fact from which all the
Okay.
other facts follow, which I think is perfectly, like, acceptable.
That's a contradiction in terms what you just said.
What? That there's a necessary
Yeah,
fact from
what's that necessary fact that dictates everything?
I'm not sure. I mean, I could give
Okay,
you a trivial case of the fact, right?
so the point is things happen because of I don't know is your position.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think we
No, real simple.
I mean, we
Are
don't
things
really
what
go to
I'm asking you from your perspective. No, I'm
yeah.
asking you. Okay.
Mhm.
Is anything that is or cannot be, is it in virtue of I don't know?
It's in virtue of a fact,
No.
and I can tell you how
What
we
is
can
that?
identify whether the fact
What is that? If it's a fact, what is it?
right. So, basically, when we talk about, like, certain, like, facts about individuals, right? Like, if I say the tree is green,
You know what?
right?
You know what? You're really good. You would be good teaching a freshman, metaphysics class.
I
Okay,
do like
you're really good at dodging my questions.
but I'm not trying to dodge your question because in
I'm
order for
giving you
something I
really
do
simple. I'm really questioning.
okay.
Okay, that the singular necessary fact is that necessary fact something that is concrete as opposed to abstract?
It's about mental properties.
No, no, no. Is this thing concrete as opposed to abstract?
Well I mean, I'm not
Is
sure.
the Eiffel Tower a concrete object or an abstract object?
It's a concrete object, obviously.
Good. Is the number 2 a concrete object or an
There's
abstract
debate over
object?
this, but I think it's an abstract object because 'cause I'm a
Good.
Platonist.
Now this necessary fact, is it concrete or abstract?
Well, the fact is not an individual like the number 2 or the Eiffel Tower. That's why I'm a
So
little
it's
bit
not this fact
the
is not
fact
a
of relation between it
this fact is not a
or it's
concrete
not
one then, is that correct?
sorry?
This fact is not a concrete one then, right?
It is not a singular
You
object.
said there is okay. Are you invoking a single fact? You said there's a fact
Yeah, I
that's
think it's a
necessary.
fact.
Good. So it's one thing?
Yes, there's one
Okay.
fact.
Is this one thing? Is it a concrete one or an abstract one? Is it a concrete object or an abstract object?
I don't think it's an individual, it's a fact, right? Like,
Okay,
facts are
listen.
one
Okay, you
thing.
know what? If you don't stop dodging, the conversation's going to be over.
No, but I think this is just a weird topic, and I
This
don't know how to broach
necessary
the subject.
fact, is it concrete or abstract?
It's concrete, okay?
Good. Is it a concrete one or a concrete many?
It's a concrete one.
Okay. Now, what is this? What is it?
I don't know, but
Ah, there
anyone
we
can have a
go. Now
complete
we've made
description of
progress.
that is either.
So guess what? Your worldview, when you deny God who's revealed himself in creation because you don't want to acknowledge him, as I said before,
I
you
am
are adopting,
perfectly
okay,
fine with accepting anything that
no,
says
you
so
don't want to believe in God. You have made it perfectly clear because of what you just said, and I will quote you. Your worldview comes down to this. Everything is what it is because of I don't know. That's what you said.
okay, I hear
Now,
you.
so
If
your
there is no
worldview,
source,
so wait
I
a minute.
can't
So
deny it.
your not God world has no explanatory power. This
I
is what happens. This is what
uh,
happens when you give God the middle finger.
Well, by stipulation, this fundamental fact, right, is going to
No,
ground all
no.
the other
Okay.
facts.
Does your worldview have explanatory power?
I think so, yes.
Good. What
In principle,
fundamentally,
I can explain what makes something
what
true.
concrete, tell me what it is that's concrete, singular, that dictates why anything is. What is it?
I'm just going to call it the great fact or the world fact or
What
something.
is it? What is it?
I
How do you
think
know that?
it's
How
in
do you
reason
know?
that,
How
like,
do you
has
know? How do
persistence
you know that it
existence,
is?
but it's
How
a
do you know that it is?
it just necessarily like, it's necessarily true, right?
No, no, no. Okay. You see, you know what your problem is? You're
Yeah.
really good. You know what? You're really good at dodging. I got to give you credit there. You're really
Dodging.
good at
I mean, I'm sorry,
Ace
I'm not trying
pilot.
to
purposely,
Ace
dodge, I
pilot.
you're
genuinely
really
am
good
asking
at
something.
dodging. Now, this thing, okay, how do you know that there's only one concrete thing that dictates all that is? How do
Yes,
you
I
know
can
that?
explain that. I can explain that. It basically follows from a view called generalism, and I can send you a paper on it if you'd like. It's a really cool paper.
Yeah,
But if you
yeah.
want me to explain
Here
this
we go again. Here we go again with
okay.
the double talk. Listen, did this thing reveal itself?
What do you mean by reveal?
How do you know that there's just one singular thing that's absolute and not that there is an array of discrete absolute things dictating what is?
Um, by reasoning, right? Like philosophers do, right? I think I
That's
can
not
know
it.
what something is.
That's not an answer. That's another
Let's
dodge.
hear the reasoning. Let's hear the
Yeah.
reasoning.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd love to hear that.
Whenever I ask somebody a clear question and they don't want to answer it, but they don't want to admit it, they just start giving me vague generalities, which is what you
Well,
just
I
did.
know it by reason, which tells you a lot because that
No,
means that
no,
there's
no. Well,
something
here's
true
no
that
here.
makes you right? But I don't
Here's
know
the
it by
problem. No, no.
specification.
Here's what you don't understand. Okay,
Okay.
unless that which is ultimate, if indeed it is ultimate, has
Mhm.
the attribute set by which it can engage in communication, you're not going to be able to know that it's there because there could be there could be a state where there could be other parameters that causally determine that you think that way when it's not true. So I'm going to ask you a question. When
So you're
people,
just putting
hold on,
like
hey, Sophie. When
yeah,
people take drugs, do sometimes they become paranoid?
yes,
So were they causally determined to think that way?
yes,
Could there be something that's causally making you to think that the world is fundamental when it's not?
yes, but I'm not an
Good
intelligent. I don't think
game. Look at
knowledge is
checkmate. We're done.
I don't think I need to
Can you rule that out? Can
thing
you
to
rule
be
that out?
interested in believing that. I don't think
Can you rule out that there are not a plurality of things that are eternal that causally determined to think that there's only one thing when there's a plurality of things?
no, because I didn't make a
Okay,
deduction
Guess
on
what?
something that I
Checkmate.
like
You're done. You're
accept
done. I
completely.
just
I made
demonstrated
an
to you.
inference for this explanation.
You're using your intellect and your smarts because you are a very smart woman. Okay, there's no doubt about that. Okay, and you're very likable too. But you're using your smarts to be evasive and engage in double talk, which would be impressive to maybe a college freshman. But a man of my age, I'm not that gullible. You've just been checkmated. I've just shown you that amongst all your rhetoric, it has no explanatory power because everything boils down to I don't know. Everything that you assert to me ultimately is rooted in an arbitrary starting point. Isn't that correct?
I wouldn't call it arbitrary.
Oh,
I
okay,
agree
good.
that
Then,
I'm not
but
certain,
you told
right?
me it's I
I
don't.
can't justify the belief that I did.
Did you tell me your starting point is I don't know?
Well, my epistemological starting point is I don't know.
Right. Okay.
My metaphysical starting point is something that I
So
can't
how are you
explain
going to ground how are
physically.
you going to ground an ontological starting point when you have I don't know? You see, it takes an epistemology to ground an ontology, and it takes an ontology to ground an epistemology. You can't have one without the other.
But I'm skeptical that you really know all the attributes of God either. God is like an infinite substance, right? Like, has like all the attributes.
you are in no position to be skeptical of
Enigma.
anything. And you know why? Because you don't have You don't have an identifiable, defensible, concrete universal from which you could be skeptical about any opposing proposition, do you?
What? Sorry?
You don't have a singular, concrete universal like God that is identifiable and defensible to use as a basis to be skeptical toward any proposition, do you?
Skeptical.
Well, no, I mean, I can know whether I'm
Guess what?
justified in
No,
believing something or
no,
not.
you're not, you know what? You're not focusing. You don't have a concrete universal, do you?
Well, I mean, I do. I said this, this
But no,
piece, I
okay,
can't
you
think of a
believe it,
different.
but is it identifiable and defensible? I know
I
you
don't know
believe
what
you.
you mean
I
by
know
that.
you believe you have a concrete universal. Okay, how is it the case that there's a singular, absolute, concrete universal as opposed to there's a plurality of discrete things, each of which that don't depend upon each other, and who could be interfering or not interfering with each other, and one of those resulting in you causally determining you to think that there's a concrete universal when there's not.
So I
How do
can
you
tell
rule
you
that?
what I know.
How do you rule that out?
I cannot rule it out because I am
Game
not
over,
justified
checkmate.
in
You're done. Did
but
you
I
hear
don't
me?
think I
Do
need
you know
to be
what? Do you know what
certain to be
checkmate
justified
is?
in
Do you
believing
know what
something.
checkmate is?
Yeah.
It's not check. It's checkmate.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
You have no identifiable, defensible, concrete universal. You
Yeah.
don't have an identifiable, defensible ultimate, okay, as a starting point ontologically, so that your worldview has explanatory power. Without a concrete universal, and that concrete universal having the character set of the God of the Bible, you will have zero explanatory power, but you'll go on your merry way just spouting a figment of your imagination saying, well, it could be true. I think it's true.
That's right.
Okay. I
How
mean,
how
yeah,
how is what you I'm going to ask you a question. How is everything that you've been saying to me as an alternate model of reality as opposed to the Christian God, how is what you're telling me not a figment of your imagination?
Right.
well, I think I'm justified in believing that it's not, and indeed I know that it's not, even though I'm not certain.
That's not an answer to my question. You're just giving me a generalization.
If you're
Tell me
asking
right
me
now.
how I
Listen carefully.
know,
You
I can
didn't give
tell you
me
how I know.
specifics. Okay. How is what you are telling me as an alternative model of reality to the Christian God, okay, how is what you were telling me not a figment of your imagination? I want specifics.
Specifics.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to explain, but I don't want you to cut me off, and it's also hard because you're using a lot of
Okay,
non-standard terminology,
I
and I
won't
just
cut
don't
you
need
off
to
as long as
explain myself.
stop generalizing. Give me specifics.
Sure.
Specifics.
So basically, my general line of reasoning goes like this. I think that facts about individuals are like basically explanatory idlers, right? Like they're not necessary to explain.
What dictates these particulars
Well, I don't think they
ontologically?
exist. I don't think they
Oh,
exist.
so you're telling me fiction? They don't exist?
I don't think there are any particulars. I don't
Okay,
think the
have
universe is
good.
particular.
Then you're not talking to me, are you?
Well, in the most fundamental way of talking about the world, there is no me or you. That's correct.
Okay. There's no mere you. Okay, have a nice
I think
night.
it's more
Have
or
a
less
nice night.
true.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're crazy. You're crazy.
I
Crazy Sophie.
You are Looney Tunes. There's no mere you, huh?
Yeah, instead
Loony.
of
well,
accepting
no,
God, they've
I
now
think
denied their own
it's like
You,
a
existence.
derivative like fact that like there's me and you, but it's like some fundamental.
you know what's sad? You know what's sad, Sophie?
Sad.
I can tell by talking with you that you seem like you're a genuinely nice person, okay? Right? And you sound very intelligent and you sound like you have had a pretty good education, right?
Mm,
But in spite of all that, your rejection of God has made you loony. You just said there's no you or
crazy.
me. And who are you talking to? Who am I talking to?
I'm talking to
Us.
you. I just don't
No,
think that
there's
like
no
that.
you and me.
Mm,
So I think the fact is true. It just like it's because it doesn't fall on like this
yeah.
vague like
Okay.
boundary.
Don't you
But
understand? See,
I think like
this is what I don't get. I've explained it to you. You lose your ability to talk about unity and diversity because there's nothing identifiable or defensible that makes it real.
again, I don't know what you mean by
Okay,
this
okay.
term.
Unity, you don't know. Okay, you
Doesn't get
sound
it.
fairly well philosophically um, literate. You've never heard of
Right.
the one and the many problem?
I don't know a lot about philosophy of religion, but I do think some of the
No, the one and the
claims
many
are very
problem
similar.
is it has to do with philosophy and metaphysics.
Oh, well, I've never heard of it. So,
Okay, okay. So I want to ask you a question. In the
mhm.
totality of everything, which is more fundamental, oneness or manyness?
Oneness. I'm a priority monist.
Okay, okay. So what is this one?
It's the world fact, right? That I
The world fact that another vagary. I have no
yeah,
idea what that
I
means.
can so
It's
The
God.
is the war is the world is the world a concrete one or is it a is it an excuse me, is it a concrete one or is it an abstract one?
I mean, I can just say the world is like the collection of all the facts or something. I don't
Okay,
know.
okay, okay. So listen, is the world, you said the world fact. When you use the word world, is that all encompassing for everything?
Yeah, all the other facts
Okay,
are
now
bounded by
is
it.
okay, good, good. So okay, so there's a plurality of discrete things.
There's only one fundamental thing. All the other
Then
things
why
are
then why
like
then why then why do you keep on talking in plurals when it's they don't exist?
because I can still, for practical
Okay,
purposes,
we're
I
done. You are committed to contradicting yourself left and right, so it's pointless going on.
I don't think I'm contradicting myself. I just think I'm using
Well, what
words.
do you mean myself? I'm not talking to anybody. There's no you or me.
No, you and me. Yeah.
You
Okay,
said there's no you and me, but then you're talking about me and you.
It's
sorry.
just
I didn't
us.
want
Is
to
there
talk about this topic anyway.
is there a you or me or not?
Only us.
I don't think there literally is. No, I don't think that
Oh,
counts.
okay, okay. Have a nice night. I'm not talking to anybody. It's all I'm just talking to some sound generating machine. Okay, have a nice night.
I yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what? When you stand before Jesus Christ,
Mm,
you're gonna regret this type of insanity when you could have been rightly related to him by turning to him as Lord and Savior and not believing this incredibly Looney Tune stuff that is self-contradictory.
is the Lord Jesus.
I mean, I can see why people think it's unintuitive. I don't think it's contradictory.
Of course, it's contradictory because at one point you say there are no particulars, but you keep on speaking in particulars.
And there's no you and me.
Well,
There's
when I
there's no
utter
I.
something,
Where, well,
I'm always
who's
saying it
I?
with
Who's
like,
I? Who's I? Who
okay,
is I? Is there an I and a you and a me?
in
That's
in
amazing.
for all
I love it.
practical purposes, yes.
Is I, you and me
And
fiction
I'm
or non?
happy to say that it
Is
is true derivatively.
no
I
no
just
no.
don't think like okay,
Sophie, is I, you and me, are they fiction or nonfiction?
well, you'll have to explain what you mean by that. They're
Okay,
clearly
I'm
not
done. I'm
fictional.
not going to keep on doing that. You're Looney Tunes. But I must say, you're the most pleasant Looney Tunes person I've ever talked to.
All right, I really appreciate that though.
Yeah. So yeah, this is going nowhere. This is a dog chasing his tail
Yeah,
because you're in this convoluted world where you contradict yourself, and then I show you how you contradict yourself. You say, "Well, I don't see it as a contradiction."
yeah. Um,
I feel sorry for you. I really do.
yeah. This well, just
I hope.
because
Listen,
I took this
I
stance
hope
doesn't
you
mean I'm
become a
asserting that
Christian.
it expresses a proposition that's true. Like those are two distinct
I
things.
hope you become a Christian because
Yeah,
you've developed a lot of convoluted thinking.
yeah.
And that your
It's easy
convoluted
to say
thinking,
that.
if you don't repent, listen, you've developed a lot of convoluted thinking. Not, I don't think you're stupid. I think you're really smart. Okay, because I talk with a lot of stupid people, and you're not stupid, but you have a whole lot of convoluted thinking, and it's going to keep you from coming to Jesus Christ, and you're going to regret it when your heart stops because life is short. I mean, I'm just dumbfounded at how many times you just contradicted yourself, and then you're oblivious that you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do want to bring up the thing I wanted to talk about originally, though, which has nothing to do with God. It just has to do with fine tuning. Which I mean, tangentially has to do with God.
We're done because your world has no explanatory power, and you know it, and I know it. But then you want to admit it has no explanatory power, and then you go on and then you talk as though it had its explanatory
Well,
power.
I'm doing like a very piecemeal like thing here. It has nothing to
Does
do
your
with
worldview have explanatory power?
we can suppose it doesn't, but
Does your worldview? Okay,
something I
we're
want to talk
done. We're done. Okay, just mute her. Okay, we're gonna move on.
sorry.
Okay. No, you don't have to apologize. It's just that you're so wrapped up in your convoluted thinking, we can't break through to you. But at least she was very cordial. She was very nice, very intelligent. But she's a mixed up young woman. I mean, the level of convoluted thinking is just staggering. You know, I did my best to try to break through that wall of confusion and convolutedness, but she wants to be in that convoluted world, and you can't force somebody to be sane.
Did you get that, Tom Rabbit? I hope you got that, Tom Rabbit.